Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, January 30th, 2026. I, of course, am Hammer, owner of Originator Success. Well, actually, that came out wrong. I was going to say owner of Hammer Solutions, founder at Hammer Solutions, founder of our products, Originator Success, Grab and Go Social, and Rate Sensei. 3 products to help you to get more business in 2026. Be sure to check them out. Check out their websites, all that good stuff. So anyway, join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you're here this morning, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, do me a favor, give me a hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. If you would like a reminder that I'm going live, we do send out a text alert each day with the links, so don't miss a live show. Sign up for the reminders at hmmr.io/reminder or use the cool QR code over here. Also, if you'd like our daily lock advice emails, sent that one out already this morning. www.ratelockadvice.com is where you sign up for those. They come from hammer@ratesensei.com. And you can also sign up for our text alerts. They're the only paid thing that I've talked about so far, and they're www.ratetextalerts.com. $7 a month, protecting your pipeline, keeping you posted. Go check those out. They're always a great thing for sure. So if you're here this morning, say good morning. Welcome to all the live folks. We got Zane on with his mom, Amy Blauser. Good morning. Mike Morano. Good morning, sir. Nicole Semerad. Sean Segaloff and Vicky McSweeney, Tammy Metzger, Thomas Wolf. Great to see all of you here, my friends. James Mahan. Good morning. Michael Scott Love. Angela Walters, good morning. So yesterday I had a bit of a bitch of a day. Anyone ever had just things, just stressful, going into some stressful things? You want to know the worst part? It's stressful with all of what Chris Rock would call white people problems. It's the funny joke thing. Really their first world problems is my issue. My wife got a brand new truck. I had it delivered on Wednesday. She got a brand new Tacoma, and she went to drive it the first time yesterday, and it appears that a stick got caught in the wheel just the right way as she's leaving the neighborhood and punctures the sidewall of the tire, instant flat. So first time my wife's driving the truck, she's down the driveway and all of a sudden has a flat tire, and I'm going to be off this morning. I took it off the truck and I will take it to the tire shop and they will put a brand new tire on the wheel and I'll put it back on. So big deal. Not really. It'll cost a few $100s to get it fixed, but that was one thing. I'm going to Mexico over the weekend. I haven't really talked about it, but I got a founders board meeting there. We're going to Punta Mita, beautiful resort, 4 seasons. Not to be bougie, but it's pricey, and no refunds, no changes to the reservation. Yesterday, I start getting alerts that from Delta that the winter storm that's coming in is going to affect Atlanta Airport, and my flight could be affected, which, hopefully it doesn't get canceled because I'll be stuck in Atlanta. I will have an expensive hotel room in Mexico that they will not give me a credit on, and I will have to figure out how to get there. Maybe the next day, not sitting in the nice cushy seats that I paid for. So again, these are very, very lucky problems to have. I know that, but it still sucks. You work hard, you're trying to enjoy those things. So anyway, thanks for letting me vent. I had some other things go wrong yesterday. I won't pile it on. I won't keep, but it was, anyone just had a shitty day. And again, I'm very lucky to have these problems. There are so many people that would trade places with me to have these problems. I know that, but it doesn't always make it better when you say it. So anyway, thanks for listening, y'all. I appreciate you. Tammy said she flew through Atlanta on Delta on Monday. It was fine. Yeah, but that was after the bad weather last storm. We're going to get a storm. It's supposed to have 6 inches of snow here at my house starting tonight into tomorrow. I'm driving to Atlanta tonight so that we can stay there and catch the flight in the morning. Hopefully as a morning flight, hopefully it only gets delayed and not canceled if they do have any issues. So Angela said it always hits at the same time. Well, that's it. Normally I roll with the punches, but it's like just, and money's going out, going out. These are things that, that you save up for. So anyway, I appreciate y'all listening. Let me jump in and tell you what's going on with rates and pricing. All right, Hammer, shut up. Stop whining. Yeah, cry, baby. All right, so here we go. In the world today, we've got some pretty funny news. Let's start with the technicals real quick, and we'll give you those. Taking a look here, mortgage bonds currently down about 4 basis points on the day. Not really that bad. You can see here we had a bit of a movement. If we take a quick recap and talk about what happened yesterday and where things kind of went there, a quick recap on what happened yesterday, you'll see that mortgage bonds, they were down here and kind of improving as pricing came out. And then they continued to improve a little bit, came down and ended the day right around the same level, a little bit better maybe than when most lenders were setting pricing, because most lenders were setting pricing right around here. It wasn't enough to see reprices better, though. Generally, we didn't see any reprices better, but we did see potential to have slightly better pricing this morning. However, that got washed out. Unfortunately, let me go ahead and pop this. Rate sheets today probably going to be just like yesterday, about the same, maybe a little bit worse. As we take a look here, look at this big drop right here after markets opened. I'm going to blame that on the on Trump naming Kevin Warsh as the Federal Reserve. What do you think about that? Is Siegel on yet? Good morning, Alan Christian. If I had your money, I would tithe all mine. Yeah. Well, believe me, it's not 2022 for me either, my friend. So, but you know, I make a good living. I'm not going to complain. So anyway, Trump picks reinvented Warsh to lead the Federal Reserve. This was the big news today. I would say that there was some reaction to it. Bonds had a little bit of a reaction to that here early. Right here, this little tiny blip right here, that was due to the producer price index. Producer prices, wholesale inflation, the PPI came in higher than expected. Wholesale prices rose by more than forecast in December, suggesting companies are increasingly passing on tariff costs. Told you that would happen, at the risk of keeping inflationary pressures elevated. Markets really weren't worried about this, though. Again, we saw a little bit of a movement here. Let me pull this over so I can be on the screen and show you at the same time. Come on. All right. So we saw a little bit of a movement right here, but then it blipped and it covered right back up. And take a look now. It's obviously we can see that we have totally recovered from that little blip. So and you know, mortgage-backed securities really not down that much, just some early kind of trading chatter. When we take a look at rate sheets have been over and over and over. They've been pretty consistent. Let me just close this out of the way so we get that. There we go. So bear with me a second. Let me pull this a little bit smaller. All right. So taking a look here, you know, I mean, we've really seen rate sheets. We're back to a very, very boring, consistent rate sheet. I mean, you're talking 6, 17, 15, 16, 19, even 20. I mean, like really not much movement, just some small day-to-day movement. That's what we're going to see today. We'll see rate sheets very much along the same lines, being down 5 basis points, but after picking up basically 5 basis points yesterday from when pricing came out. So it's kind of a wash. You know, yesterday pricing came out right about here. Look, we're just below that. I mean, we're just below that. So you're not going to see too much of a difference in rate sheets today. It is Friday, but my advice will be the same that it has been. I would lock anything that's closing in the next 15 days. So you'll hear more headlines about the Warsh thing. Let me just turn that off. We'll hear more headlines. Kevin Warsh, according to the editorial board at the Wall Street Journal, they say that he was the right choice, knows where the central bank has gone wrong and how to fix it. I'd love to know who's writing that. I haven't had a chance to really dig deep into the article, but we'll see. We'll see. This could be a signal. Now, again, this is not a slam dunk. Tom Tillis from North Carolina here has already said that he's on the Senate Banking Committee. He's not going to confirm any of Trump's nominations for the Fed until they deal with the Department of Justice investigation. I think that's going to go away very quickly now. It was an attempt to influence Powell, and it backfired, and a lot of people came up against the administration for even bringing the suit and the subpoenas and all the things. So I think that goes away. I think the Senate will confirm Warsh. I don't think there's different choices on how he's going to run things, but the biggest concern, he's going to get grilled at when the time comes about can he act independently, and and I'm sure he's going to toe that line. Um, but Trump does feel that he gives him, the best opportunity to have some influence at the Fed and to continue to lower rates. And Warsh already had talked about why he would have lowered rates, and he's kind of a contrarian to the current Fed, which I think Trump views that as the best opportunity to put somebody in that won't just turn around and change their stance on everything. So we'll see. What do you mean by transitory, Randy? Are you talking about the producer price index and that inflation? I mean, transitory is such a funny term on that. Once the price jumps go on, they stay. The inflation part is transitory, but the higher prices will be there. I mean, the prices that we're paying for things that are higher, we're not going to see them go back down. You generally don't. So those prices will stay, but it's not consistently increasing prices and inflation. As far as some Fed, let's look at the Fed futures, and then I'll wrap up for today. Taking a look here, the thing that really kind of caught my eye was if we go to expectations for a March meeting, it's about a 15% expectation that we could see a rate cut at that March meeting. When we get to April, let's refresh that. I never saw that before. There was a problem loading this content or two. Oh, looks like their page is, they're definitely having issues. Let's see. FOMC FedWatch tool. CME FedWatch tool. Let's try to load a new. Ooh, look at that. Oh, boy. Look at them Chinese characters. They're getting hacked. They are getting hacked. That's what that tells me right there. Contagion Regressive Para Nuevo. Yeah, I think they're being hacked. That is what that looks like. Yep. That's hopefully CME Group is a big deal. Hopefully that is not something that will last. So anyway, what I did see is that there was really no expectation. There's just the instructions, it's not the actual. Yeah, no, it's FUBAR. All right. So anyway, there was the idea that they were going to see a cut in March, not existent. A cut in April, not existent. The cut in June, the June one, increased a bit after the announcement that Trump was going to select Warsh as his nominee. So Randy said his son engineers and builds factories. One of his biggest things lately is redoing packaging to smaller sizes to keep prices down, but less product. Yeah, exactly. Instead of a pound of bacon, you get 12 ounces. Instead of a gallon of ice cream or a half a gallon of ice cream, you get below that. And the prices look the same. The packaging looks very similar, but there's less of the stuff in it. So I agree. Doug said, this is the guy that thought rates were too low until November of 2024. Now, conveniently, he says they're too high. But remember, Trump only hires the best. Yeah, no, I know. There's a lot of articles here about how he was playing the long game and, the different things. And there's an idea of what his nomination means and what it will do for the Fed. But I think all of this is still so early speculation. I think he will manage to get through the Senate committee and get the nomination. But again, I think that Trump will have to pull the DOJ investigation and put that to bed like Tom Tillis is demanding. I think Tom Tillis will hold to it. And I think he should. I think that whole thing was theater and it just backfired. So anyway, as you see, for anyone joining at the last minute, the lock advice is down at the bottom. Definitely suggesting you lock anything closing in the next 15 days. Next week is jobs data, but it's not going to be a big deal. I don't think the jobs data comes in weak enough to really drive rate sheets better. And as far as the next Fed meeting, it's in March. So we're going to have the next round of data the first week of March before the next Fed meeting. So this will be old news. So this isn't going to change any perspective of a Fed rate cut, which doesn't exist. And that's kind of where I was going with it. Markets don't think the Fed is going to cut rates next meeting, and this won't change any minds on that. If it comes in really soft, it could help bonds improve a little bit, but not a ton, especially because there's no Fed influence that would be perceived by markets in there. And then if there's, so the point being, not a lot of reason to float loans closing near term, but anything with more time, there's not a lot of urgency to lock either, because we want to leave things open, see where things react, see if there's anything positive. It's not likely that we see anything that could push rates higher. This is kind of where rates are going to be for a while, and we're just going to keep majoring in the minors, arguing about these small movements that are there, and the headlines about best rates in 3 weeks, highest rates gone up for the first time in 3 weeks. How much did they go up? They went up an eighth, maybe a quarter for some of the more extreme, but generally about an eighth. I mean, that used to be a non-issue. Now that's going to be the big headline. So it shows you just how stable rates really are right now. So anyway, tell me a little bit about what you're doing this weekend as we wrap up. Also, don't forget to go check out some of our sponsoring products. Today, I will talk about Grab and Go Social. Go check out Grab and Go Social. It is a platform that we give you content to post, coaching on how to post, and community of other people posting. So it is the 3 C's: content, coaching, and community. $7 to get started for the first month. Go check it out. It's got a whole content calendar if you're curious on what you should be posting, what will get attention. We've got proven stuff. It's customizable. You can either grab and go post, super easy, takes a minute. You can take it and customize it if you'd like. We've also got more complex stuff in there and strategy guides and things like that. Go check it out, grabandgosocial.com. Use this cool QR code over here, or go to grabandgosocial.com. So anyway, that is the little promo for today. I'll be coming to you Monday from Mexico, hopefully, if the weather and life cooperates, and hopefully things go smoothly. Again, I've got first world problems, but it would be nice if things go smoothly. I'm not going to lie. I would love it. So anyway, thank you, my friends. So glad to have you here. Appreciate you being here. And tell me what you're doing this weekend. Let me know in the comments. I am driving to Atlanta tonight, hopefully flying out in the morning around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and hopefully an uneventful flight to get out and get to Mexico and enjoy my weekend. So Randy said 6 inches of ice, hopefully gone today, and you'll leave home for the first time to go see your grandson. Good for you, man. Good for you. Thank you, Nicole Semerad. I will have a blast. And thank you. I will get there eventually and somehow. And even if I have to spend 4 hours in the back of the plane or take a non-direct flight or some other poor problem that this bougie guy has to deal with, I totally get how I sound right now. I get it. I know, but I have a good life. I've worked hard for it. So Allison should be there before the snow comes. That's what I'm hoping. Hopefully I'm out of there before they say it could come tonight though. So Stephanie, you're doing open houses and shivering in Florida. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Mike Morano, Austin at Grab and Go Social is awesome. Thank you, sir. He is. And safe travels. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll see you next week one way or the other. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.